destination app. What does that mean? But it's been a while. Basically, if you don't know what stream-oween is, it's basically where I stream every day into Halloween. But the thing is, no, I don't want Reddit. But, I guess I got burnt out a bit. Maybe. But I will say some things. I've been getting a lot of copyright strikes on my streams falsely because of music, which I'm pretty sure is copyright free, considering I'm about to assure under copyright laws that it's for use, like public domain, like 8 years after the creator has passed away, which is sometimes that was broken. Disney. But basically I've been getting a lot of copyright strikes on my streams falsely for whatever reason, which first of all should not be happening. Second of all, let's just say a lot of people every single time I did streams, people you'd be like, oh, draw me, and while I'm talking about something serious, or nobody would be there at all. And the thing is, with streaming, it's actually a coping mechanism for me, because I have severe autophobia, which is the fear of being alone and being abandoned, specifically because my brain associates being alone with being abandoned, because I've been abandoned so many times. So I often just stream as like a way to cope with that, considering nobody really talks to me. So a lot of the time, when nobody really doing stream, I end the stream, and then I just start wondering why I even stream. But the thing is, I really do love streaming. I love it. It's literally like a passion for me. But the thing is, I use it as a coping mechanism. And I feel like the safety that I felt has been stripped away from me. And I don't know why. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love my small group of fans. Like, the people who come to most of my streams. Like, come say hi, want to play games with me, or do like small art requests. Don't get me wrong, I love that. It helps like me with my everyday life as someone who struggles with communication. Because believe it or not, I struggle with making friends. So when people come into my streams, it really helps. But when nobody's really there, there's not really a point, and I was there. And I swear to God, people are actually probably going to be like, well, you're complaining about not being famous. No, I'm not complaining about not being famous. I'm complaining that nobody gives a fuck about me. There's a difference, because not even my friends talk to me really. I have like 3 friends that talk to me, out of the literally like 300 friends on my friend list, like 300, 400. And also the fact that I actually have a target audience, which is people with similar hyperfixations, similar hobbies, and also people who have like mental disabilities that I can relate to, such as autism, ADHD, ADHD person, and other things, or simply people who can relate to things I go through, which I actually love it when people can relate to me because it helps me not feel so alone. But there's a problem with it now, apparently, because I can't have nice things. People essentially like to joke around about things I struggle with, such as being trans, because, imagine this, you're on a Discord server as a trans male, you are transmasculine, and someone just says, oh, you're transmasc, as in M-A-S-K, and they say, oh, you're lying about being transgender. Sure, it may be funny to them, but it's not exactly funny to you, because you're already struggling with a bunch of transphobia and other discriminatory acts. So, is it truly funny? And I know goddamn well people are going to say, oh, just rape rage, just joke. The thing is, jokes are funny. Jokes are funny. That was not funny. That was rude. There's that fine line between being funny and being an ass. And I feel like people are starting to board that line. Because, I myself, I'm disabled. And people often make fun of my disabilities. Hi, Morgan. Hi, people actually like to make fun. Okay, ignoring you, people like to make, okay, I'm sorry, are you the person who diagnosed me? Are you the person who diagnosed me? No? Are you not? Yeah. The thing is, I actually have neuropathy, which is basically where it makes my limbs numb and cramp up. But the thing is, it gets so bad to the point that I cannot move. I sometimes start screaming because I literally am in the middle of something important, and then I start screaming. I sit down to avoid it, even in the most uncomfortable positions, just to stream. So sure, in some cases it's not considered a disability. It's classified as a disability when it interferes with your day-to-day life, which it affects me in my day-to-day life, as well as the fact that, believe it or not, people really like to say that people are lying just because they do not know better, and I find that perfectly fine in some cases, but when they have no evidence with a lot of the time, people just really like to make shit up, saying, oh, well, I have this disability and you don't act like that. The thing is, disabilities can work in various different ways for different people, depending on the disability. For some people, it could be less extreme for others than you. And autism is an entire spectrum, if you're talking about that, which is also considered a disability, a mental disability, and it makes you think differently and act differently than neurotypicals. So, yeah. And the reason I overall stopped is because I struggle a lot, and also can I be honest? Can I be honest? I'm gonna have to put a trigger warning. Okay, there we go. Trigger warning is put there. If it triggers you, please leave. Go. Okay. Hi. But basically, I've been struggling with self-harm. I've been focusing on trying to stop doing that rather than streaming, and I apologize that bothers some people that I struggle with things, that I cope in an unhealthy way. You can be a VTuber, but I honestly, usually it's either really expensive or VTuber model on mobile, which is what I'm using. I don't use VTube Studio, but yeah, I've been working with self-harm, and I've been trying to start doing that. But a lot of time, you could just find one on the VRoid Hub, or you could find someone to commission, or you can make one on iPad. It's on iPad or computer. There's no in between, unfortunately. But with that out of the way, so I don't have to keep answering questions like this. There's also a bunch, like a wave, I guess, of people deciding that blatant ableism is funny. And what happened earlier was a blatant example of that, saying, oh, you don't have a disability just because I can draw and play games and speak, that I don't slur my goddamn speech. Well, I'm sorry that I'm able to speak, that I have a voice box, that I have working hands. But the thing is, with a lot of disabilities, people often judge it without knowing what disability you have. You could just say, oh, I'm disabled, and then people will start saying, no, you're not, no, you're not, no, you're not. Alright. Thank you, Morgan. But the thing is, with a lot of people, that could be extremely discouraging to people with disabilities to try and talk out about, which to me and other people, like my friends and family, because my wife is proud as fuck. I'm sorry, I'm having to do this real quick. Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna plug in something. My life isn't actually pretty wild, as people could probably tell from my streams. I mean, I live with a blind man. Yes, I live with someone who is literally blind, diagnosed with blindness. Like, he cannot see, and I was unintentionally rude to him because I didn't know he was blind, and I feel so bad. I actually felt so bad because he came downstairs to apologize to me for randomly moving in and my family trying to force me being comfortable around him, and I felt so bad because I didn't know that he was blind, because nobody ever introduced this man to me. They never even told me his name. They never told me who he is, never anything. Nothing except for the fact that he's gonna live here and the fact that he helped raise my mom. And the thing is, with a lot of people I know, they are disabled in various ways, such as some disabilities, they could be more difficult sometimes than others. And for other people, it's a mental disability where it affects how they function. And then there's one of my friends whose voice box got damaged. Yeah, nobody ever told me anything about this man except that he helped raise my mom, and it took a week just for them to say that his name was Mark. I have lived and grew up around a lot of disabled people, and a lot of my family is actually mentally and psychologically disabled with bipolar disorder, autism, etc. I mean, most of my family is actually autistic. And I mean, I did get diagnosed with quite a bit of mental disorders, which I fucking hate living with. Because, funnily enough, Not every disorder means that someone's going to slur their speech. It doesn't mean that it's going to... Bye. It doesn't mean that it's going to just straight up be like, oh, yeah, well, you talk normal. Maybe because my voice box isn't hurt, question mark, maybe? I mean, my voice box is perfectly fine, because it's not like I'm my friend who... Okay, I'm not going to expose my friend's events like that. That is a horrible thing to do. That is actually a shitty thing to do. But yeah, my friend's voice box damaged. I'm not my friend. So I don't really think it's okay to be like, oh, well, you talk normal just because I have a working voice box. And for people to just be like, oh, well, yeah, well, you act like a normal person. Because I am a normal person. I don't really think we should be calling people not normal just because they're disabled or because they have disabilities. Even though they affect the everyday life of someone, that doesn't mean they should be treated any less than a regular person. If anything, they might actually need special assistance with learning different skills, which is why special ed exists. Which, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that, I'm sorry. The whole point of special education is to help people with disabilities that affect their learning skills and cognitive skills. I'm pretty sure, wait, is it cognitive or cognitive? Wait, hold on. I got a tablet work with me. I gotta look up how to pronounce this. Okay, it's cognitive, okay. With their cognitive skills. But yeah, I don't really think it should be normalized to be like, oh, well, you're faking a disability just because you can talk and because you could play games, which only require movement in your hands. My neuropathy is mostly prominent in my legs. For the most part, it's literally prominent in my legs, not my hands a lot of the time. So, I don't think that's really a normal argument, but okay. Even if it was prominent in my hands, I probably wouldn't be streaming when it's acting up, when it's happening. Like when my hands are going all numb and cramping up and hurting to the point that I'm screaming. Because it literally affects me from moving, and it makes it to where I got to literally take pain medication because it hurts. Just because something's done, like numb, doesn't mean that it's painless. Just because it may be something that's implied that you can't feel anything, buddy, that doesn't mean you can't feel anything, dumbass. And yes, I am going to call people stupid about when they're trying to imply these things if it's correct. I'm not going to sugarcoat what I think or what I personally am going to be like. I'm not going to, oh my god, my English. I'm not going to not say that you're stupid when you're being stupid. Because it's not me bullying, it's me saying that you're acting stupid. It's me saying that you're not acting smart. And it's better to be blunt than try to beat around the bush and cause more harm by thinking that you're this deity. Am I saying that you were so stupid that you don't know how to function? No. I'm saying that you're not behaving the smartest. I'm not going to beat around the bush and cause more harm. But, from my experience, people... like, we all know you're not disabled because blah, 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 blah. Oh, well, my family has this disability, and according to Google, it doesn't work like that. The thing is, Google doesn't know everything. Oh, shocker, it hasn't been here forever. It doesn't really know everything. Nobody knows everything. I don't even think Einstein knew everything. Sure, he knew a lot of things in his lifetime, but not everything. I mean, heck, it took like centuries for people to take illnesses seriously. People literally were like, oh, but you don't need a wheelchair, you're fine. Because they didn't really believe that those disabilities were serious and real. Like, and that's what led to a bunch of problems. Like, we're not going to go back to back then when people just didn't let you have the help you needed to function. Like, and just because it doesn't act up on some of my streams doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. So it's very fucking insensitive. And straight up, I can't even say it on stream. Oh fuck. Okay, I'm just gonna say, I'm not gonna be around the bush. You are not exactly, okay, you're stupid if you think that you know everything about disabilities. And I mean every single disability on Earth. You're stupid if you think that. I'm not gonna beat around the bush, okay? Oh no, God forbid I say someone acted stupid because they were trying to act like they're superior. This is because they want to think that people lie about disabilities 24/7 because it's the internet. Hi, Kenny. But the thing is, disabilities affect one's day-to-day life. That's basically what disability is. Something that affects how you function and how you live. So you have to adapt your life to just be able to live with the disability. Like as I said, my legs don't exactly work normally. My legs like to be like in pain, I guess. I wonder why. It's very for me, but I prefer to just stream this and clear shit up because I feel like people would decide to be like, oh, well, this person just quit. This person just quit randomly. Oh, how dare they? Oh my God, how dare you? Because yet again, it's the internet. People are surprisingly sensitive. And then whenever you show the basic bit of emotion to something that actually is serious, people call you too sensitive. They call you a snowflake. Like, that's 2:46 for me. I'm an hour behind you. But people are like, oh my God, you're such a snowflake. Or they're like, oh my God, how dare you. Those are like the only people that you can find on the internet, I guess. And oh no, I called someone stupid on the internet because I know I'm not entitled to conform to their desires by me saying, oh yeah, I'm totally faking just by me being diagnosed by multiple professionals. Oh no. Oh no, oh my God, how dare I? How dare I? Oh my God, I should be canceled on Twitter. Oh no. I mean, a lot of the time when I stream, I guess it's not exactly clear that I'm neuropathy, which I do not blame people for at all, not in the slightest. Because, I mean, it's not exactly obvious considering y'all don't see my IRL legs. Which I always have propped up in a ridiculous amount of pillows. And whenever I have to get up, I actually have to move the pillows. I mean, heck, I fell face first earlier, so I don't even know about that. What are you doing? Okay, and I know that I probably sound a lot more less happy, I guess, in the stream, but that's because, to be honest, I would rather be dead than keep talking about this, but I feel like I gotta talk about this, so. Because, honestly, people are always trying to make up lies on the internet. Oh my god. Over the ingredients of Coca-Cola. Or are you talking about the other Coke, like cocaine? Ah, okay. The thing is, people online, it's drained me a lot to the point that I kind of don't feel that happy streaming anymore. Because every stream, there's people thinking that, oh, it's going to be funny. Oh, it's going to be funny to harass this child. Oh my god, so funny, ha ha ha. And people always like to defend it by saying, oh, it's harmless rage bait, it's harmless rage bait. You know how rage bait used to be? It used to just be harmlessly annoying someone, not something harmful like information, like misinformation about disabilities that affect someone's day-to-day life. That is not rage bait, that is harmful. Okay? That is harmful. That literally reminded me of that one poor woman who literally got told that she deserved a miscarriage just because she had a cringe moment literally on stream. That's all people can do, I guess. If they have one single cringe moment, they deserve losing a child. Like, they deserve losing a child before even giving birth, apparently. People try to justify these things to an insane level. And it's gross as fuck. I know damn well people are gonna try to be like, oh, well, she deserved it because she made NSW content for money. Yeah, for money, because she needs rent money. Does the world revolve around these people now? I think I need to catch up. Because, honestly, people will decide to think that something super serious becomes super funny to joke about just because, oh, it's Gorgon, I swear to fucking God, I'm gonna kill you. Gorgon, I'm gonna kill you! But anyways, enough of joking around about killing Gorgon. I mean, yeah, and also the fact that, in my opinion, it's not really the fault of the person who creates it, as it was on a website that children can't really access. So at the end of the day, it wasn't really her fault, it was the consumer's fault. They show that it's what works. And that's what matters in those situations. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do find it okay to be like, oh, well, this isn't fucking okay, when it's on a site that children can easily access. The thing is, it wasn't. It wasn't at all. And people were trying to threaten, that's why doxing and death threats, and straight up saying that she deserved a straight fucking miscarriage. And I feel like, sorry, I keep getting emotional on stream, and I really need to stop. because, oh God forbid, I show emotion on stream, because full-grown adults like to make fun of people crying on stream, am I right? People really like to, full-grown adults with jobs and children like to laugh at minors crying because they, God forbid, have emotions. Oh God. How dare they? How dare they? How dare they have emotions? Oh my God, it's a crime. Jokes aside from that, the thing is, I don't get paid. I'm actually not legally old enough to even have a bank account, because where I live, you have to be over, like, 18 to have your own bank account. And also, the fact that if my mom made one for me, let's just say that she'd spend it all on weed. I'm not gonna sugarcoat. She'd realistically spend it all on weed. That's how she is. I mean, she's gone into my room before while I was on call. I'm like, can I have weed? To my grandma, who lives in the same room as me. So, I think that kind of tells you what kind of house I live in. So, I don't really think that, oh, well, your life isn't that bad is really a good argument either. Or try to justify harassing anyone. I'm not saying people should be babied on the internet. No, I'm saying that it should be basic fucking common sense amongst everyone, regardless of disabilities, to show some basic human respect. Because at the end of the day, apparently I expect too much of people on the internet. I expect too much. Which can lead to some problems, actually. Wait. That's probably gonna lead to some problems. Shitty, that's what I'm doing. But I guess people really like to be like, oh yeah, well, you're faking this, you're faking that, you're faking this, you're faking that. Because so many people, for whatever reason, think that it's okay to actually fake it to where actual people who have it aren't believed. And I feel like people shouldn't really be doing that. Considering, fun fact, I don't exactly care about how many views I get. Believe it or not, I actually do not care. Like, a lot of the time, I just really like streaming things I like fun, like I like for fun. So, I truly guess having fun's a crime. Oh no, we better hide. The police of enjoying our lives is, yeah. It's kind of hard not to take it to heart when this is something you have to live with on your day-to-day life, especially around like in a town that's straight up ableist. So it's kind of difficult to not take it to heart, but I keep trying. But it all in all is kind of difficult to just keep streaming when all you see is people being assholes. That's literally all I see on the internet. To the point that I just don't really see the point in making that much content anymore. I mean, I've said it once and I'll say it again. I don't exactly see the point in any of this, actually. Good luck. Good luck. I hope you find happiness with them. I actually need to put something in my mouth. It's like numbing stuff, but I actually burns, okay. Basically, I have a cut on my mouth, but I'm fine. Okay. And don't express how broke I am. Don't express how broke I am, man. That's not cool. But it's really hard not to take things to heart what some people say, because it hurts a lot. And I try really, really hard to just think of something to do better, something to improve on, like something to distract myself with. I can't. The thing is, I really, really can't. I can't. I have like 4 friends that aren't from my streams. And 3 of them ghost me daily. And I truly just need to stop opening up on stream, because honestly, people just like to see me in pain. Like when I got cut on stream, to the point that I was bleeding. So I guess the algorithm is a very sadistic asshole. That's what I'm getting from this. The algorithm is a sadistic asshole. That's what I'm getting from all this. I'm not getting people are people to respect. I'm getting that people are assholes, sadistic ones at that. Which, I guess, is kind of like a shitty thing to just know. To know that not really anyone is gonna be here for you. I mean, heck, a lot of the time during my older streams, I literally had to work towards not being a pushover, but I had to delete those streams. I had to delete them. Because false copyright strikes for music that's public domain! Yeah! Okay, so jokes aside from that, I got a lot of false copyright strikes on my streams. From what I counted last time, I believe there was 6 or 7, maybe 8, I think. I don't remember. I would have to check. But the thing is, there were streams, so I didn't really have any music playing in the background. It was just me playing Roblox. But what I noticed was a lot of them were games didn't use world or Girl Gardens. So those 2 apparently have copyrighted music in them, which would violate Roblox's TOS. I don't really get that, but whatever. So basically, they just weren't able to be viewed in some countries, which is a bit odd, but sure, I can get past that, right? I can get past that. Ha 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 ha. Oh no. Oh fuck no. Turns out a lot of that music is copyrighted where I'm not most of my viewers live. I'm not gonna say the countries because I feel like that'd be rude. because people be like, oh no, you doxed me, because people like to say everything's doxing nowadays, even saying their name, which may add, a lot of people have. What's a common name? Hi, Ava. So let me get this straight. So basically, during this entire stream, people have been proving my points. People have actually been proving my points this entire time. Like, people are like, oh, we all know that you're not disabled. Shitty. I'm doing pretty bad, but... And the thing is, me literally streaming with disabilities is the fact that I don't advertise my streams as, hey, I'm a disabled person, here's what I do in life. Because that's me trying to milk my disability. What the fuck? So me not blatantly disclosing the fact that I'm disabled makes me a liar. Got it. I don't think so. Actually, I don't think so. I haven't gotten any pings, so I genuinely do not think so. So I might actually stream a lot less, if at all. I will be a lot more active on Discord though. So that's one thing, I guess. So yeah. All in all, to go over everything, people like to say that I'm disabled simply because I don't make it a central part of my content. I don't really find it funny how people try to mock me being disabled. I don't find it funny how people try to be discriminatory towards anything I do with my life when it involves any form of content at all, even when it's the smallest thing, like, oh, I'm struggling to make this because of my disability. I don't own a dog. I don't own a dog, but I own like 4 cats, so I'd probably say that. But I would personally say the fact that also that people just make it like a key point to just be really fucking insensitive. Really insensitive. Like, I was literally talking about, oh, well, I don't really like the fact that people tell me to draw things for them on stream when it's not an art request thing. And then they proceeded to ask if I could draw something. Or when I'm venting on stream or ranting, and people are just like, hey, can you draw me this? The thing is, I'm usually perfectly fine with being asked that, because I could just politely say no. The problem is, it's in a very serious context, in which I'm not exactly comfortable with being asked at all, let alone people asking me that in that specific context, where I talk about something important to me, and then people are like, oh, hey, yeah, I know you're talking about something important, but like, I don't really care, so just draw this. And people like to just join my streams and tell me to stop talking. Like, that is the whole point. That, my friends, is the whole point. My streams are made for people who like being talked to, for people who don't really have people to talk to, but would like one. Like, that is the literal point of my streams. If that bothers you, that's perfectly fine. But that doesn't mean it bothers everyone. Because, believe it or not, I'm not going to conform to you. I'm not gonna change my content because one person doesn't like what?
If you've ever had a job, a coworker, or a boss you absolutely could not stand, or that you had a life that you kind of pretended your way through.